Welcome to Inspirational Monday. I am Stephen E, and I promised that I would try to get back on a normal schedule with Inspirational Monday. So today I'm bringing in Inspirational Monday since I missed last week because I had an audition in New York. So today I want to talk about on Inspirational Monday is sometimes you are defeated before you even start. Sometimes you're even defeated before you start. And the reason that I'm saying this is because before you begin any project or any future plans and stuff like that, sometimes you got to check your attitude towards yourself, your attitude towards others, your attitude towards what you're going into. Now, if that attitude is coming from a negative place and you have been prone your whole life to listening to a lot of negativity and you're going into it with a defeated mind, well, this ain't going to work out, I know more than them, such and all that, then you have failed before you even get to that task, as opposed to opening up your mind to the possibility of success, the possibility of, being accepting of others, being accepting of other people's ideas, being accepting of yourself, because sometimes we don't even accept ourselves, and if we don't accept ourselves, we can't accept another person, we can't accept situations and all this stuff. We'll accept what's given to us, but we won't accept that we deserve something better in our lives. So sometimes before you get to the door, you got to check your attitude, because sometimes it can't always be the other person that they did something to me, they're rotten, and every time in certain situations, the common denominator may be you. The common denominator may be me. So check your attitude at the door before you get started. Now, one thing that I used to do before I used to go to work, and I would say this: no weapons formed against me shall prosper. Let my day be successful. Let my day be bright. Let my day be good. Now, that reminds me of the first inspirational video that I put out for the very first Inspirational Monday about making sure your day is charged right, making sure that your attitude is correct, because sometimes you don't necessarily want to hear what that other person got to say, and they may be checking you. They may be checking your attitude, and sometimes you may need your attitude checked, and that could be a good thing. So listen before you're quick to close off someone else's, someone else's experience of you. So don't be quick to kind of hold that off. So listen first, process everything, then make a judgment, and then look inward. Am I like that? Is this the only person that has said this to me? Is it the only person that's ever said that to you? Because if 5 or 6 people are saying the same thing, then there's a common denominator. The common denominator may be you. And now there's a great opportunity in this, because now we can fix this. Now we're aware of it. So sometimes we're not aware that we do things. We're not aware that we may have a negative attitude, and sometimes it's rubbed off from other people. Now, I had a friend like that where they would just constantly rub off on me, and then I started speaking like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not how I want to be. This is not what I want to represent for myself. This is not how I want to always be known, as a combative person. So I had to check myself. And I remember when I started my first job many years ago when I was 18 years old, and there were things that I didn't necessarily like at the job, and there were things that were necessarily not being done correctly and things not being done fair, but I would approach it as to I would have an attitude. And then my very first boss pulled me into the office and said, Stephen, you're right about what's going on, but your attitude is going to kill you moving up or you moving anywhere, because nobody's going to always want to work with somebody with a bad attitude. You don't have to approach it with a bad attitude. And then, I had that mindset at the time where I can't do nothing about it. This is my attitude. This is how things are. And then she said, do this. If you ever feel like you're going to get upset, come back here, close one of the office doors, and just let it out. But don't let that out on the sales floor, because your attitude rubs off on the next one, rubs off on the next one. So I had to think about something, at that time. She got hers. She's where she wants to be. I'm trying to get to where I need to be. What do I need to get there? So she checked me, and I was glad she checked me. And every time that I see her, I always say, thank you for that conversation. Thank you for checking me, because at that point, it was another step of growing up, and it was another step of recognizing that, how can I approach things differently from this perspective? How can I offer a positive solution to this, as opposed to always coming in with that rah, 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 kind of attitude? Because I came from that. That's what I learned. So I had to learn to do things differently to be able to get my point across. So sometimes it just may take doing something a little bit different to get your point across. Sometimes it may just be having to check yourself or having someone check you. Don't be so quick to close them off. Be open to what's being said to you. Process it, think about it, and then form an action. Saturday I was in acting class, and I was there with a bunch of younger new actors starting out, and I had taken a class up in the Hartford area, and we had to do commercial copy. So a lot of them went first. I think I went last, and then what happened was the actors asked could they go again, and after the teacher gave the critique and how to make the adjustments, and then they all asked could they go again and do it, and she said, yeah, what did you learn? And then one of the kids said, I learned from Steven. And then she said, what did you learn? He took his time. He was able to work with the copy, and I saw how he worked with the copy, and he made it his own. So, I reassured him. I said, you're going to get it. It takes time, but I had to start at an A2. I said, trust me, believe me, I started where you're starting right now. And I said, you will get there. Just be confident and sure of yourself. So he did it again, and he was great at that. So I was glad to be able to share something and to be able to inspire someone to keep doing it and to go back and do it again when the first time doesn't necessarily work out. So I was glad to be able to pass that on, and I'm glad to be able to pass a lot of the lessons that I've learned in this life, because living all the years that I've lived on this earth, I'm glad to still be learning, and I'm continually learning as I grow into the next chapter of my life, looking to produce, write more, and work in the industry. So I was glad to be able to give the lessons that I learned early on to the next generation, because legacy isn't all about money and things and all that. Sometimes it's information that you can give to help someone else's road get a little easier. So I was glad I was able to help these new actors get their road a little bit easier. So always stay encouraged, and sometimes check yourself. Always stay encouraged. As long as you stay encouraged and you have the right kind of mindset, there is nothing that is unavailable to you. Everything will be available to you. Trust yourself. Have an open mind. Be blessed on this Inspirational Monday, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Give this video a thumbs up and share it to anybody that you believe it will help. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help somebody. Somebody's road be a little bit easier than mine was, because every day I learn something. So every day is a chance to learn. Every day is